What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and we are back with another early version from the 20th Anniversary Edition of Analogue. And Luca is as excited as I am to listen to the early version of Birthright. A very beautiful song. It's one I have re-listened to over time, and the balance, which I think is something I remarked upon in my original reaction, that it has this balance of sonics where it has this natural instrument sound but still with some textures that are more keyboard or electronic based. I do remember commenting in my original reaction on the transitions. Something about the transitions between the different sections of the song hit me as very powerful and compelling. So yes, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it's not an a-ha song that I've re-listened to as many times as some others, maybe even as many as a couple other tunes on this album, but I do think it is a compelling song, and so I'm curious to hear how it sounded in an earlier rendition. So let's give it a listen. This is a-ha, the early version of Birthright, a song from Analogue.
You don't wanna hang around, said you were leaving town for the summer, please till sundown. 'Cause time ain't gonna grind you down, ain't gonna waste your life chasing rainbows like some clown. And who's gonna come with you tonight? Who's gonna tell you it's alright? Everything changes over time, just like wine. Time ain't gonna hold you up, ain't gonna make it stop long enough to ease your mind. Ain't gonna make it last forever. And you, what you gonna do? Walk it solitary, so necessary, but it's alright. It's your birthright. Hey, everything's different down the line. Everything changes over time. Time ain't gonna make it worse, it's gonna make you start feeling better, just like wine. We're gonna make it last forever. What you gonna do? Just the ordinary, so necessary, but it's alright. Yes, it's alright. It's your birthright. It's your birthright.
Beautiful, and it's interesting, maybe because I haven't listened to this as many times as a lot of their songs, By the end of the song here, I'm wondering exactly how different, like, in the first minute or two, I'm thinking, okay, it sounds a bit more natural instrument based, a bit more piano and acoustic guitar, even if, again, I feel like the overall vibe and sonic atmosphere is very similar. But by the end of the tune, I heard more like keyboard electronic sounds. And so, yeah, I'm wondering if it is essentially just a slightly simpler version, but that the album version, as I'm recalling it, is not fundamentally different overall. So this one, I guess I mean to say, feels closer to the album version than a couple of the other early versions we've heard, though that might be my mistake. I might be not recognizing all the distinctions because it is a tune I haven't re-listened to a great number of times. Nevertheless, I think it's the kind of song that is just so well done by a-ha in their larger catalog, meaning songs which have this emotional feel, songs which have these, compelling lines where there's emotion and poetry to them, and I do think Morton's voice is just tailor-made for a song like this. So yeah, I thought it was very beautiful, and again, it felt a bit more traditional instrument in the front half, a bit more electronic in the second half. But yeah, ultimately, I don't. If there are some distinct differences, I didn't pick up on them. In fact, there was a moment where it sounded like the sound level was fluctuating a bit, almost like, it was a demo, like they just went into the studio and, hey, let's get this recorded, and then, we can tinker with it and, work on it, which on some level may be the case here. But yeah, there was a moment where it almost sounded like, a demo recording where, it's not like perfectly equalized and optimized sound, but like there was a moment where it seemed to dip, and then like a moment later it kind of came back to full volume again. So it's like, oh wait, like it's not fading, like that was just seemingly like a fluctuation in the overall levels. But yeah, again, it's a beautiful song. I enjoy the vocals here where, it's like the layering of the vocals, it's like Morton is giving this lead line very beautifully, but the texture of the vocals is more than just that. So yeah, it's a lovely rendition of a song which I think was polished a bit, maybe made a bit fuller, but ultimately not terribly far away from the album version. In any case, let me know what you think, and I will see you in a moment for another live a-ha performance. Peace.